Okay, so I wanted to talk about just a couple of things real quick. Real quick. Because I got a kind of time limit. I got a schedule I got to stick to. So there was a article that I came across this morning. Just looked at the headline and read quick. Talked about how astronauts were, well, three astronauts were successful at docking with the ISS today. Something like that. Like some way or another, three astronauts launched from Earth out into low Earth orbit, and then they managed to dock with the ISS, and that these astronauts had been successful in that endeavor. Hey, what's up, folks? I see you. What's up, Manny? D Truth, Rakesh. What's up? What's up? All right, MXS Productions. What's going on? What's up, Jacob? So, so I was looking at this thing this morning that supposedly happened. It was supposed to be three astronauts had connected with the ISS. They left the Earth, blasted off, bam, and they found a way to magically connect with the ISS. Now, I've spent maybe the last 20 minutes or so watching videos of jets refueling mid-flight. Sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. The process was something like the jet that was needing fuel would here. All right, and there's another fuel. The one that's gonna be fueling that jet. It's out front, and they drop a hose from that jet, and they try to connect it with this little suction device on it. It's like they drop the hose, and it's got a little basket attached to it that it connect with. That's how they have to play it. They have to fly in the right proximity to the plane right behind them. They have to match speed with that plane, and then they have to just I mean it's not even super technical the way that they do it. It's like they kind of have controls in the arm of the hose, it would seem, but all it is it's a fuel hose, and then it's like a basket to connect to this other thing. So it's all like mid-air, just floating around all over the place. And sometimes it'll work, sometimes it won't. Sometimes it'll connect, and then the hose will come out disconnected from the plane. Sometimes they would think that they connected, they would start pumping out gas, and then like the wind would blow and it would just fly off everywhere, and gas is being just dumped all over the place. These are jets flying in the Earth's atmosphere at a speed of around, let's say, 500 miles per hour, such as the one of the more casual commercial flight speed. That's like the cruising speed of a lot of commercial airliners, or so they say. Personally, on a side note, I'm starting not to even believe that aspect. I don't think that airplanes are actually as high as they tell us that they are, and I don't think that they're flying as fast as they tell us that they are. That's just where I'm at right now. I spend a lot of time with my eyes on the sky. So here's the thing. If those two airplanes in the Earth's atmosphere are having such a hard time connecting just a simple hose at a speed of 500 miles per hour, if they're having such a hard time making that happen at 500 miles per hour, I would like to think that a rocket being fired from the surface of the Earth and being able to successfully dock with the ISS, while the ISS, the International Space Station, is supposed to be traveling 17,500 miles per hour in low Earth orbit above the Earth surface. 17,500 miles per hour. So, what you want me to believe is that not only is the ISS that we've never seen built, there's no videos of the construction of the ISS, that this large thing is the size of a football field, is constantly falling back towards the Earth but never quite gets there, and that's what creates this velocity. Somewhat. I mean, I'm paraphrasing. That may or may not be how it goes, but I've heard people explain it that way, as if the ISS is constantly falling back to the Earth. I'm like, what? Does gravity work or not? Anyway, what you're telling me is that the ISS is 250 miles above the Earth's surface, traveling at 17,000 miles per hour, and that some way or another, here on Earth, we were able to devise a plan to build a rocket that could take 3 individuals from the surface of the Earth, reach a speed of 17,500 miles per hour to match the ISS speed, which is somewhere around 9 times faster than a speeding bullet. This big 5-ton rocket got up to a speed faster, 9 times faster than a speeding bullet. And it was able to reach this velocity at just the perfect time to where it was able to match up with the ISS while it was going 17,500 miles per hour. And it was able to travel that speed, get to a point to where the Soyuz is connecting, boop, and we open the hatch. And that's what they want us to believe. A rocket got up that fast, and then to see the Soyuz probe, Soyuz. I was mixing my yeah. Anyway, look. Here's the thing. That makes absolutely no sense. Basically, there's. I highly doubt it. I highly doubt that. We're talking about 2 man-made craft that weigh tons and tons. We're able to get up to 17,500 miles per hour and then successfully dock at that speed. I don't think so. That's just me. It seems ridiculous when you sit down and actually think about the mechanics of it. Okay, so real quick, while I got another 2 minutes, because I need to get out of here. What else I wanted to talk about was, well, here let's start the breakdown then. What else I wanted to talk about was responses. Some responses to these globe believers about a couple of videos that I put up recently. Now, there was the one with Neil deGrasse Tyson. The one where he says that stuff is flat when he was speaking at SXSW in Austin, Texas, I believe it was. The globe believers keep coming to that video and saying that that's being spoken out of context. You're taking that out of context, is what they keep saying to me. Because belief in the heliocentric model with all its intricacies and details, yeah, that makes a whole lot of sense. That requires a whole lot of critical thought to believe in the globe. You gotta, you gotta be really in tune. I'm being sarcastic, of course. Now, that is obviously not the case in dealing with the globe model. There are many assumptions that you have to make if you are going to continue to believe in the globe model. And I talked about these things the other day. In order to believe in the globe model, you have to believe in the Big Bang. You have to believe in the Big Bang, an explosion out of nothing that created everything in such perfect order. You have to believe that. If you believe in the heliocentric model, you also must believe that. What else did I say? It was the last thing was about monkeys turning into people. That was the last thing. If you're going to believe in the globe model, and it's got to be a belief because there's no proof for it. I'm wrapping the cord, by the way. That's what I was doing. I'm plugged in at the storage unit. So, hold on. Okay. So if you're going to continue believing in the globe model, you have to believe in some things that can't be proven. You got to believe in curvature that can't be measured. You got to believe in motion that you can't feel. Meaning the whole earth spinning thing. Like, people will argue with you all day about how the earth is spinning. I mean, look, it's not one thing that you get to latch on to if you believe in the globe model. Our point is casting doubt on a few different things that are seriously inconsistent, pointing those out, putting those out in the forefront. Because the idea is basically, if this one aspect can be proven to be false, then that basically falsifies the entire model. Right? At least that's my rationale behind that. Let me know if that makes any sense. We're all wrapped up here. We are leaving the storage unit. But anyway, that's the things you got to believe in if you believe in the globe. But beyond that, let me try to fix this. Now, beyond just those things that you have to believe in the, Big Bang. You got to believe in curvature that can't be measured. You got to believe in motion that can't be detected. You got to believe in monkeys turning into people. You got to believe that actors in CGI is what makes something real. These assumptions. One of the responses that I keep getting from that video from Neil deGrasse Tyson saying that stuff is flat. Now, he was talking about the horizon. He was talking about the Red Bull space jump. How Felix couldn't get up high enough to actually see any curvature. He's talking about you're not going to be able to see any curvature from that height. And yet, if you believe in the globe, these are the same people who say that they can see a boat going over curvature when they're at a beach. Well, I saw the boat go over curvature, but you're saying that if you're up 27 miles above the surface of the earth, that you can't see curvature from there. But if you're at the beach, you can see curvature just fine. It doesn't make any sense. if you think about it for a little bit. But they go on to say that it was taken out. It was taken out of context. No, I understand. He was talking about the horizon. I know exactly what he was saying. I think he knows exactly what he was saying. I feel like he accidentally told the truth. Honestly. Heck, he even kind of did the hand gesture. That stuff is flat. Yeah. He did it twice. But he was being honest. He was talking about the horizon. And believing in the globe, it's like you have to assume a lot of stuff. You have to ignore a lot of things. Okay, coincidentally, he was talking about the horizon, but the argument is that you're never going to get high enough to actually see the horizon curve. So if that's the case with you and everybody that you know, and you only are going to be able to see the curvature of the earth from these space agents, from okay, so 99.9999999% of the population is never actually going to see the curvature of the earth. Nobody's actually ever going to see it. We have to take it from these spacefaring agencies. We have to take it from NASA, from JAXA, ESA, Roscosmos. We have to take it from them. And we have to just go with it and believe that that's what's real. And that's what's got to be the assumption. Because, I mean, the basis of this whole thing is whether or not there's any curvature. Another response that I keep getting from people is that there's some guy trolling me on Instagram wanting to argue about stars. Every day it's about stars. Somebody's asking about stars. And at no other time does it go down like that. At no other time do you walk into a room trying to figure out the layout of the floor, if the floor has any slope, if it's higher on this end than that end. Nobody walks in trying to figure out what's going on with the floor, and then they start looking at the stuff that's going on above their head. Like, when does that happen? If you're a contractor and your boss sends you out to go survey this room, and you're trying to figure the layout of the floor, you're not going to be staring up all day. You're gonna pull out your tape measure. You're going to pull out your level. You're going to make sure that the floor is straight. But that's what these globe believers do. They want to look at stars. Well, if you're so far away from the equator, if you go really far south of the equator, you can't see the North Star anymore. So we live on a globe. Stars. Well, the Southern Crux. You can see the Southern Cross from this place and this place and this place, so we're on a globe. Have you heard of a kaleidoscope? You know how light bends from one place to the other? That's a possibility. Because I've seen video where there's a guy who has 4 cameras set up and he does a time lapse. One of those cameras locks on direct north, south, east, west. He has them in alignment, and he has a 360-degree time lapse. And I'm telling you, from those time lapses, and you can find it if you type it into search on YouTube. But what you're gonna see is, one, you're gonna see one point where it's Polaris, and it's gonna be spinning like clockwise. Okay, and then there's gonna be another point on this side of the screen. It's gonna be spinning counterclockwise. But in between, it's gonna be stars that are spinning like in this kind of pattern. Like it's okay, it's like the stars around the North Pole are spinning that way, or a North Star spinning that way, and what the Southern Cross or whatever down there is like they're spinning that way. And there's a point in between where the stars are like spinning in both directions, in opposite directions, like closely to each other. Like spreading. I mean, in looking at it in real time, it looked like a kaleidoscope. Seriously, it did look like a kaleidoscope effect, to be honest. I mean, that's the best I can explain it on that note. But look it up. Type it in the search. Look up 360-degree star trails, and you'll find something interesting. I've been wanting to take some footage of that and put it in a video. So, yeah, just go check it out. If I don't get a chance to. But here's the thing. While he's got the 4 cameras pointed in all opposite directions, you can see the horizon, and it's flat. It's safe to say that we don't like fully understand how light works in every aspect. And it's elusive unless you have a good frame of reference. That's why I'm pointing you to that 360-degree star trails video. So check that out. But they always want to argue about stars. But that has nothing to do with the terrain. It's like 2 totally separate topics. Well, okay. I've rambled on long enough. I believe that was a couple things that I wanted to chat about. Also, it was kind of fun taking you on this little adventure with me, having to wrap up everything at the storage unit and then get back on the road. Good times. But I'm wanting to do more of this type of stuff on this channel anyway. It's just me living my life. I was at the storage unit. Now I'm on the way to grab something to eat. This is this is van life for you. When people were like, "Oh, so what's up? Is that really what you're doing? Oh, you live in a van down by the river?" Because that's some really original stuff. It's always fun when somebody says that. Reminiscent of the Chris Farley sketch when he was supposed to be a motivational speaker living in a van. It's like he would scream, in a van down by the river, and he would say all that. I mean, I guess it was kind of funny, but that's the reference that people give me. I'm like, but Chris Farley was broke in that sketch, wasn't he? Never mind. Not even sure what people's issue is, if that somehow or another diminishes what someone says. And I guess it shows a degree of shallow thinking to judge someone by that aspect, as if they've really taken the time to understand what I'm about. And they haven't, and that's fine. Hold on. Yeah, I'd like the Fit Hit Veggie Bowl with pico de gallo, please.
What was that?
Fit Hit Veggie Bowl.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and medium order of sweet potato Mexi fries, please.
And what was the salsa for the Fit Hit?
Pico de gallo.
And then a medium sweet potato mixed fries?
Yep.
Alright, 921 at the one.
Cool, thanks. So yeah. Anyway, I'm about to go ahead and get my food. Just thinking out loud. Want to share some things with you. I'll probably, do a few more of these sessions. Just hanging out. Just thinking. Just thinking. Just thinking out loud about these anomalies. These conflicting stories that were told from the mainstream. Um, I'm saying we're being fed nonsense, straight up nonsense. And I hadn't even talked about the whole situation with the supposed Mars landing that took place allegedly. What was that, last week? Something supposedly landed on Mars, so many millions of miles away, while the Earth and the whole solar system are all being pulled through the vacuum of space by a giant fireball. Jeez. It's ridiculous. I feel like that was kind of a litmus test. Like they're testing how much BS they can throw at the public before people start calling them on it. I'm thinking that's got to be it. Because I'm saying the idea is just that people are too clued out and that they have so much going on in the way of keeping up with society. They got their social obligations, their sports teams, their family obligations, and all that. And I get that, but being that busy, it's kind of an issue, especially if they're not afforded enough time to think. Pretty good. All right. But anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and cut this one off. I don't know. Got all fuzzy. Okay. But yeah. Alright, so yeah. I'm going to go ahead and cut this one off. Thanks for tuning in. It's D Marble Live over here. Just doing what I do. Just chatting and all that. Yeah. So, that's all I got. Be good with each other. Take care of yourself. Stay flat. I'll see you next time. Later.